time that we've been through here with the weather, or it could have been so much worse than what it was, and we're thankful that it wouldn't. Thankful you watched over our people the way that you have. We pray for those whose hearts are breaking today, that have had family members that have passed away, that's walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Lord, please be with them, help them, Lord. Give them peace today, I pray. Lord, I ask you for wisdom and knowledge today as we vote on the items that we have to vote on today, to make decisions to help best help our community, Lord, as you see fit. Be with all of our first responders and those that are working in the field today. Ask that you watch over and keep them. Bless our children as they're in schools, going back and forth. Pray for them, Father. Pray protection on the place that we call home. You go with us, you help us, Lord, as you see fit. Please forgive us where we may fail. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. We'll have a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank everybody for coming out today to our February meeting of Jackson County Fiscal Court. We'll go ahead and get started. Call the meeting to order. Well, I asked Mr. Dutmore if he wouldn't mind to read the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'm going to take a nap. Just be paying seats.
Here you go. Here's your box. Here's some pastry. If you want that, maybe that's something to do there.
Okay.
Here, you're ready, brother. You got the minutes? Here you go. There you go. Read it off, man.
I don't have to. I do next one. All right. Shane Gabbard called the meeting over the minutes from December 11th, 25 were read and approved. Motion by Bond, second by Baker. Shane Gabbard recognized visitor Brody Cake, 911 director, who presented a resolution recognizing 911 dispatch as a critical component of the administration of criminal justice to aid their application to receive NCIS access. Motion by Todd, second by Baker. Shane Gabbard opened bids for jail surplus items. Daniel Knight is going to Chevy Impala with a bid of $710. Joseph Brown won a blue Chevy 4x5 with a bid of $475. Benny Myers won a Chevy 5-speed with a bid of $1,055. Zach Bryant won a gold Chevy with a bid of $527. Chevy Blazer with a bid of $426. I guess that got motion. Motion by Bond, second by Baker. EMS vehicle agreement. Table to gather more information. Shane Gabbard requested approval to obtain an appraisal for the kitchen building in Andrew. Motion by Baker, second by Bond. Shane Gabbard presented the Jackson County Fairgrounds project bills and change orders. Motion by Bond, second by Baker. Shane Gabbard presented the treasurer's bills transfers. Motion by Baker to approve, second by Todd. Motion to adjourn by Bond, second by Baker. Man, that's exciting.
All right, your motion, we accept the minutes is read.
Motion.
Right.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. We've got Mr. Brian Murray with us today. Brian wears a lot of hats in the community, does a lot of volunteer work. He's now working for PRTC, but he is also our chairman of the Jackson County Fair Board, and he's also the chairman of the Jackson County Fairgrounds Committee, which is the project that the state has awarded us money to build the fairgrounds on the hill. And he has a couple updates for the court, one of them consisting of a possible building purchase that adjoins our property that we bought up there on the hill, which used to be, it's owned by McKee Baptist Church. And it basically sits right on the corner of the property that we built, but it wasn't part of the original property. That you got some information about that. So Brian, thank you for coming and share that with us today. You got the floor.
Actually spoke to our county attorney today, and the land that is occupies that church building, Ross said was originally part of the Lakes property, and it had been sold off as a piece some 20 or 30 years ago. As Judge Gabbard said, Fiscal Court, I'm coming to you on two things today. On behalf of the Fairgrounds Advisory Committee and also the Jackson County Fair Board, I'd like to buy something and sell something. That's what it comes down to. On the buying side, as part of the construction and development of Jackson County's first major fairground in our history, we have the opportunity to purchase a 3,600 square foot building that is located at what will be the main entrance to the fairgrounds. This building was built by McKee Baptist Church around 20 to 25 years ago. It's in great shape. Passed a builder's inspection recently with flying colors. McKee Baptist built it as an outreach to Rocky Hill Heights. It was occupied by the House of Refuge Church and Pastor Brian Gabbard until recently when they bought a building in Tyner. It was sold to the Christian Appalachian Project for $180,000 last year, right before we would have had the opportunity to come together as an advisory committee and recommend to you all that we buy it. The good news is they had the appraisal and inspection done plus legal fees, which amounted to approximately $10,000. They are willing to sell the building for what they have in it, which is $190,000. That's a cost of only $53 per square foot, which would be about a third of what it would cost to build today's prices. It also comes with a half acre of land, has a very big central room that we were told was nearly about 2,000 square feet, which was a sanctuary for the church originally. It also has 7 to 8 other rooms that can be used as offices, plus 2 bathrooms with showers, a deck, and more. Now, the advisory committee believes this is a win-win-win, both in price, functionality, and location. In checking with a former commissioner of the Department of Local Government under a friend's advice, Sandy Donahue, who both Tim Truitt and I spoke to personally over the last couple of days, she said she went back and read the language of the funding we received from the state budget, which was line item, and it simply says the money is to be used in the development of the fairgrounds. There is no specific language provided the funds are used in its development. In essence, she said the purchase of the building would be no different than the purchase of the land to build the fairgrounds on. We would use the same state or local procurement codes we did for the land that we purchased to build it on, and our county attorney could navigate that. I've also spoken with the county attorney today, and he is in agreement of this matter. The building would be multifunctional, used for the fairgrounds, fair board, tourism, among other things, yet to be determined. But we did vote as the advisory committee and unanimously approved a recommendation of the fiscal court to purchase this property as part of the $4 million we received for the fairgrounds project. I'm open to questions.
So I was at the advisory committee meeting last Friday, right before we discussed this, and I had a call and had to leave. This is something that me and county attorney had discussed earlier, because we thought if this was a feasible purchase within where it's at, it would make more sense for us to have that building than it would be anybody, because our driveway into that property, you go right by this building.
You and him started the process of steering it.
Basically. So, you know, it's, as you said, it's been inspected, it's been appraised, it's sitting right on the corner of our property. Basically, we could probably get better use out of it than anybody. That could become something of a building of entrance, of the entrance to this property, where we could use for possibly entertainment, dressing rooms, then also for park activities, maybe help house some of the park department things that they'll need to take care of this property. So I printed off for you guys what I printed off for the fairground committee last week. We had originally was given a line item of $4,020,000 in the state budget that went into our special grant account for this project. We give $300,000 for 114 acres and a little more of land, $28,000 for surveying, $904 for plan designs, $100 for survey plat recording and notary service deed signing. Fractal Utility, which is the company that won the bid for the first phase of this project, so far has been paid $820,014.51. Nesbitt Engineering, which was awarded the engineering on this project, has been paid $31,617.60. Then we did a promotional drone video that OBR LLC did for us was $1,000. So out of $4,020,000, we have spent $1,181,636.11, which means we have $2,838,363.89 left in the funds for that project. And like you said, Brian, that building is basically hit part of the fairgrounds. So I think it's a very feasible cost, $190,000 to buy this building. They're making tremendous headway up there. It's starting to look like what we're after it to look like, as far as if you see something leveled off with the build on. They're really coming together. Y'all got any questions or anything about that?
What would you be using for this?
What would it be used for? Well, our goal, Danny, would be that we would use it for as many things as we possibly could. It could, like Shane said, it could be basically a welcome center for the fairgrounds as people come in. You know, the building I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, down here on Water Street, the reason it was purchased in the first place was because our fair board doesn't have a headquarters. And we meet about 8 different places. We rotate from here in the courthouse to the extension service to El Dorado's, and we need a home, a place we can meet. But we also want to make it open to tourism and to various groups if they want to have like a place to meet, a centralized location, because it's got about a 2,000 square feet. Brian, would that miss it by much, the sanctuary?
Probably not. It's pretty good size. Plus, if I had the chance, I was going to tell you, we did some work to the floor in there a couple of years back. We also put a new heat and air unit on that outside.
So it's had some work done to it, some money put into it.
$4,000 or $5,000 worth of heat and air, and that's probably been 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Robbie, do you remember when that was?
About right.
Yeah, it may not even been that long.
Yeah.
But it's a good building, man.
Yeah.
It was perfect for what we needed it for.
And Magistrate, you know, it's one of those things to where we're going to have a building of some kind anyway, and this is in the perfect spot at a price we can't build it for, and I think it can be used to service a lot of needs in the county, and we're going to make sure it's used by as many groups as can in the county.
Yeah, you got any other
How
questions?
do you think that's going to take away from the overall project as far as the money?
I don't think it's going to. We're on track to where we think that $4 million is going to construct us 4 baseball fields. It's going to do a walking track. It's going to be able to get us an amphitheater and a stage or whatever for our fair. So when you look at the overall cost of it and you talk about 5% of the $4 million, I think it's money well spent. I don't think it's going to take away from the overall mission of what we're trying to accomplish. And we have to have it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to have some type of building.
Plus, Timmy and Senator Stiver is going to make another request for more funding.
They've asked for 2 more.
They've asked for 2 more, so there's going to be more money come in for this project on top of what we got. They want this to be sort of the centerpiece for Jackson County. It's set in the city of McKee.
Yeah.
We've never had it in the fairgrounds. They want it to be like the centerpiece, so they're really up there, and I guess in the trenches, trying to get us as much money as we can from the state. And keep in mind, this is nothing that's coming out of our budget county-wise. This is something that when you get a line item from the state, that's what you use it on.
And that's the only thing.
That's the only thing you use it on. And it's money that is not particularly funded just by taxpayers here, it's the whole state of Kentucky. So, you know, it's a big deal, I guess you would say, for us here, that we're getting this kind of project. These are projects that you see happen in bigger areas, not so much in rural areas. Now, you used to, when Coal Severance was active, you would see this kind of activity happening in the mountain counties where a lot of coal is at. I mean, Dale's been on the court for, I guess, 4 or 5 terms, and he can tell you what Coal Severance used to bring into Jackson County, and that went away when coal production went away. And it really took a lot of things. So in order, you know, for us to receive this kind of funding it's a great thing. I think.
And just so the fiscal court knows, we are very focused on sustainability financially for this project. It's not going to be something that we try to build and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at ways of looking for funding and opportunities. We believe the most sustainable financial model for that is going to be through travel baseball, which is a really big thing all over the state of Kentucky. And that's one of the reasons, one of the first things we want to construct up there is 4 fields that they can come up and have big tournaments at. That's just one piece of the puzzle. But we're talking about so many things, cross-country, soccer, for the fair, so many different things that we want to do up there and make it a real cultural center that people can go to. I'd love to see kids one day say, hey, I'll meet you at the fairgrounds. And it'd be something that the whole county could benefit from.
Absolutely.
Sometimes don't put your neighbors too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep.
Is that where the drive's gonna be, you think?
Yes,
The main entrance?
the main entrance, and we're looking at widening that. So, and that was one of the reasons that Ross and Shane began the initial conversation, was because they have to cross over the state right-of-way, right, to get into that property. So we were looking at that and
So utilities and everything's gonna come in there, water's gonna come
Yeah.
in right there, and power and everything's gonna come in that direction.
that just about has to be the head end
Yeah.
of everything up
And
there.
also, Nesbitt, part of this engineering that we're paying for, they are actually, they're doing a study on Camden Bridge. They've been doing some surveying up through there. They're gonna try to improve that road and widen it what they can without cutting into a big lot of money.
One additional thing I'll point out is that the driveway that goes to the church goes over the county's property. It goes over it by easement. So until you get to the actual block where the church is located, that's all they own. And so the driveway already belongs to the county. But it would just sort of, I guess, reunify everything, bring it all back in. And I hate to put it this way, but the church is in the way a little bit. And I hate to say that about the church, but that building is sort of in the way.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had talked to...
With the right of way, you mean?
Yeah, well, the right-of-way, plus, if you go up there, there's an entrance sort of into that field. Now, I haven't been up there since they started moving dirt, so I don't know what it looks like now. But the entrance to that field is sort of on the other side of the church. So one of the things that I had talked to Shane about was the need maybe to get a right-of-way across the church's property so that we could go up that way. Now, we could possibly solve that by widening the right-of-way, on further a little bit the other way, and then go in, to skirt it. But that square that church is on, that building is on, is kind of in the way of our needs, at least in my opinion.
And one question that may be asked is, why did Cat buy the property and then turn around and want to sell it? If you could imagine buying a piece of property that you were going to use for like missionaries to come in and do work and like do witnessing while they were here, and then after you buy it, you find you got a noisy neighbor moving in. I think they recognized that we needed it more than they do, and also that it wasn't going to be as secluded as they thought it was going to be, because they weren't aware of the Fairgrounds project when they bought the building off of Chief Baptist Church. So that was the only reason they're offering to do it, and they're really doing us a favor in basically saying, just square us back up so we don't lose money at $190,000.
I think ultimately CAP will end up with somewhere for their mission team behind the new food bank that they're building.
That'll make more sense for them anyway.
Yeah, I think ultimately they'll end up there. So I think that one thing that I guess we should consider is that if we don't buy it, somebody else probably won't buy it.
They will.
They'll have to come through us to get to it because, like Ross said, the right way, but,
We're preventing a mess
yeah.
by doing this. Because somebody else gets a hold of that, and we've got a lawsuit and problems.
Well, it's like I said, we've got, what, let's see, there's still 2,800,000 and change left, so, you know, it's still quite a bit of money left, which I know there's quite a bit of work to be done, and I don't disagree at all with what, you know, what we want to be good stewards of what we've been given. It is comforting to know that there's a really strong possibility when the Senate president's behind it that we're going to have more money to go on that end. It ain't guaranteed until it's signed in, but the budget's signed into law, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I think you'll need, because time to get the groundwork and all that prep done, it's going to eat in a lot of that
Yeah,
as far as the finish ground, you know.
finish grant, yeah.
And utilities.
Yeah,
It will be costly.
utilities are going to be a big cost,
It's
yeah.
going to be a big deal. If that happens, we'll still have a bit,
Yeah,
the way I see it.
yeah. Well, if somebody want to
If you check with all the legal part of that, make sure you can use that for that, and I'll motion that.
I believe we've got that covered.
Yeah.
I believe.
County Attorney, would it be your advice that we're in line with the DLG on the procurement of that, just like the land?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem.
So I think we're covered legally.
All right.
Well, that would, on the right, is that, when you pull in there, the fence goes up the right side of that, will that, all of that'll be public property now after the purchase of that building?
No, the fenced property that's on the right of the driveway belongs to, that's the Rocky Hill Heights property.
But the fence is pretty much on the property line,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that'll take that whole section up
Yeah,
behind the building
Yes.
and put it in with the,
Well, it basically squares it back off. If you look at a map of the property that the fiscal court, the county purchased, this piece of property is a square off of the edge. It's been cut right out of the edge of the property that you already own.
This reunites pieces and basically puts a jigsaw back together the way it was before.
Motion.
you got a motion,
second.
second. All right.
You got a motion.
Oh,
So that's fine.
okay, sorry. All right, now next, Brian has some information. If y'all remember the Kenny's Restaurant building down here that we voted on to sell it for $60,000, I believe. That would be the last, that would be our reserve and auction, I believe if I'm correct. All right. We have been, me and Chase been working on this, trying to get it on Gov Deals, where we sell things through Gov Deals. Well, in the packet right there, this is what Gov Deals is asking us for, and I think it's gonna cost us a lot of money just to get it on the Gov Deals website. So Brian knows a little bit more about it. He's been working on this, so go
Yeah.
ahead, Brian.
As a second item concerning the building on Water Street across from Key Baptist Church that is currently owned by the Jackson County Fair Board, which operates under the Jackson County Fiscal Court. The building was purchased in 2021 using 100% federal money from the American Rescue Plan, which was created to replace lost travel and tourism money, and had no involvement with the county's money at all. At the time, we planned to use it as our Fair Board headquarters, and I was talking with Magistrate Todd there about the fact that this building up here that you guys just approved for us to purchase using the $4 million, we were trying to do the same thing down here and get ourselves a home. And it was right across the street from where we have the fair, prime location. So, but due to a lack of funding to remodel it, and the fact that we are most likely to be conducting our last year of the fair this year on Water Street, as it will move to the new fairgrounds in 2027, we no longer have a need for the building. However, we could certainly use the money. The current Jackson County Fair Board, assembled in 2015 by Judge Gabbard, is a registered 501c3 nonprofit that is made up of strictly volunteers in the community who devote thousands of hours to the fair and other special events throughout the year. You have the chairman and the vice chairman over here to my left in Mark Sulfridge. It has grown to be the biggest event in the county, and we have to raise the money to fund it through sponsorships every year on our own. Now, the county and the city are big supporters of the fair, and you guys help us raise about 20% of what we raise, but we have to do the other 80%. Last year, we raised $58,000 in sponsorships, but the fair, even through penny pinching, getting work donated, and our own fair board members losing money, cost us $64,000 to pull off. Now, when you have an entire 3 days of activities, including paid musicians, for $64,000, that entertains anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 people, that's a good use of your money. The building was purchased for $60,000. There's been several discussions about how to sell it, and we've kicked this around for about 4 years. The most recent one voted on by the fiscal court was to do an auction on gov.deals that Judge Gabbard mentioned. We've gotten some information on it. It's going to require us to have an inspection done, an appraisal, and different things. This will require time and money that we don't have. On behalf of the Fair Board, I would like to propose that we drop back and punt just a little bit and make a lateral movement. I know I'm asking for you all to change a precedent on something that you said and to go back and undo that, but keep in mind that the situation has changed over time. So I want to propose we change plans and do one of the following. Meet again with the Jackson County Public Library, who has been involved in it several times at different points, and try to agree on an amount to sell it to them. No one needs it more or will do more with it, in my humble opinion, than the library. Or, number two, auction the property as is to the public with a reserve price that the fiscal court can set. As you all know, the library is a real shining beacon in this community. We have one of the best libraries in the state, and Ashley Wagers, our librarian, has already put together some proposals about what she would do with it to benefit the youth of Jackson County. It's in a prime location for that use, and frankly, it's a building and a piece of land that wouldn't be used in a lot of different applications. It's a little odd piece of property and an odd building, so to speak. And so here's the problem. We know we paid a little bit too much for it because of proximity. If your neighbor goes up for auction, who's going to pay more for it than you if you can control who your neighbors are? It was in the greatest spot it could be for us. But things have changed since then. We need the money, honestly, because we're a little bit overextended from last year's fair and had to secure some funding to close the gap. We've done the best we could with the money we've been able to raise, but I'm asking for a better solution to be able to sell that property quickly so it can help us fund the fair board and use to bring better artists in. We've already got the Isaacs planning to come this coming year, and that's not cheap, and it'll be kind of a farewell tour for them a little bit because the mom's getting up in years. And so, the Bluegrass and Gospel Night, Family Night on Thursday has grown like crazy. Judge Gabbard's really helped us with that. But we need the money, and we've kicked it around for a long time. So it's kind of a dead issue, and it's not benefiting anybody right now. So I'm looking for a quick solution, and I need your all's help to do it. Any questions? Feel free.
I'd say auction, just public auction.
Be like the Ford Brothers or something,
If you got anybody local, we'll do it.
to sell it for a public auction. I mean, that's probably the quickest way to get rid of it.
Do we want to set a reserve, keeping in mind that there has been an appraisal that floated around that I was made aware of at $40,000. So if we set a reserve at 60, which we're probably over 60 now with a few costs in there, and an auction is going to get a percentage. So do we need to set a realistic reserve on that before time? And we don't have to set that price today.
I don't know either. I've not really watched any auctions on properties as of late. I know you're taking a chance if you don't set a reserve of some sort, but we and Brian included that email that I've got back and forth with Richard Ballard from Good Deals. And the things that they're asking is just gonna cost a fortune to get together. They're looking for permits, inspections, ADA access notes. You know, we don't have any of that because we bought the building for the fire board to use as a headquarters for the fire back when COVID was going on. And so that was, none of that was in our possession. We just made a purchase from, we voted on it in court, made a purchase with the Marks family, I think it was, that owned the building at the time. But it may be best, I agree, it's probably best just to do a public auction. If we had somebody come down and set up, do it.
It'd be a good option.
I'll do it. I won't charge you a dime.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Why bring Ford Brothers in when you can do it?
I could grab Ross and we could be.
Ford Brothers cost a lot, you know.
Please do.
Well, it's a big thing. We'd have to do a lot of advertising.
Brian, this is free legal advice, but it would be illegal for you to auction it.
Okay, yeah, he said it'd be illegal because that would be shield bidding, wouldn't it?
No, I think you've got to be a licensed auctioneer.
You do.
Yeah.
Auction property.
Still sounding good.
I think Ross just don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'd say do some research. Sell it.
Public auction. You want to make a motion to get it started?
Or get it started and we could,
Okay,
you know.
that'll work.
Before we do that motion, while I've got your attention on this matter, I don't want to make the assumption, but because this money came from the federal government through the American Rescue Act and had nothing to do with the county's money, I would like to encourage you guys to consider that the proceeds does go to your 501c3 Jackson County Fair Board. Through the help of the Lord and a lot of hard work, it's the biggest event this county sees all year long, and we will take that money that will take us from the red to the black, and we will invest it as good stewards to bring better entertainment. We'll use that money wisely. We'll make every cent count. But I would like the opportunity for the fiscal court to say that when this does sell, that the proceeds will go to this fair board because we've worked our teeth out for over 10 years to build this thing.
Yeah, you have to do it. Y'all do a good job at the fair.
Yeah.
So if we could have maybe two motions.
Yeah, well, we could do it like this. We motion that we get the process started to do a auction on the Kenny's Restaurant, a public auction on the Kenny's Restaurant property. Proceeds go to the sale, go to the Jackson County Fair Board. That work?
I think so. We need to talk about if we're gonna have that. But we can do that next time we meet.
We need to find a company first that, or find a way to public auction it that ain't gonna eat into the proceeds like mad.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, we've used Ford Brothers before selling equipment and things like that, and we always set it up to where the buyer paid the premium, 15% or whatever it was. That really cuts into your price. But I know anybody that's coming to do an auction is gonna have a fee to do it. They ain't gonna come down here and just do it to be doing it. So do we need to set a reserve price? What do y'all want to set the reserve price at?
Well, I thought if we're looking for a baseline, the library had an appraisal done. If I'm not mistaken, that appraisal came out at around $40,000. I know that would be 2/3 loss from what we gave to it, but it's $40,000 we don't have, and the $60,000 didn't come from our county anyway.
Yeah.
So I would suggest 40 is a good baseline number as a reserve, but also getting the advice of somebody that deals in this, like an auctioneer or somebody that works in real estate. To me, those two numbers would get us pretty daggone close.
Yeah. So 40,000.
Would my boy be allowed to auctioneer today?
I don't know. The daddy was, but I don't know.
Little Wayne might be allowed, I don't know where he is or not.
Yeah. But I don't think 40 is a bad number for it. I really don't. And I know from talking with the fair board, we want every dollar we can get, but at the same time, this has been about a 3 or 4 year process, and we're at an impasse and it's just sitting there. So my dad used to catch us standing around and say, "Boy, do something if it's wrong."
Move rock pipe.
Absolutely. Kick some dirt.
Yeah,
So you want to make a motion to auction it, set reserve at 40,000, proceeds go to the Jackson County Fair Board. that what you want to make a motion? Okay. All right, got a motion? Got a second? All right, thank you.
Gentlemen, sorry to take up so much time.
No,
Thank you
no,
all.
you're fine. Actually, I hope everybody got an agenda. If you didn't, I apologize. I didn't probably print off enough. But anyway, I switched it up a little bit, before we get into the rest of the agenda. If you've got any comments or announcements, or any questions, we'll go ahead and open the floor for that, before we get into the rest of the agenda, because I know time is valuable. Go
I
ahead.
have a quick comment.
Yeah.
I'm new to the community, and I appreciate the opportunity to attend these meetings. But last month when I was here, there was conversation about not being able to hear.
Yeah.
And we talked about microphones, and I just think for the public to better follow the conversation, we
Yeah.
really need some
You know,
audio of some
I
sort.
had a microphone at home and I ran off electric today. I thought of that when you walked in. I do, I've got like a boom box that's got 2 microphones, and I was gonna bring it today, and they went back to school today, so in a tizzy get my daughter to school, but anyway, I'll try to have it next month. Thank you.
Comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed over the snowy part of the week, that a couple ambulances was called, and they wouldn't get out on the road. The magistrates up here is making enough money, why don't they escort those ambulances with a snowplow truck in front of them when they need to get out? Because they're, you know, you're purchasing ambulance and EMS, if you can't use them and get out in those situations, they're no good. And that hurt a lot of people, I mean,
Yeah.
they're the ones that votes for your magistrates, I mean, these are the people, so they should be able to escort them ambulance, no matter what the weather is or anything.
I think what we run up on this time, Bobby, was it was just, they would go by making headway with nothing, hit with solid ice.
Yeah.
And it was just hard to get it cleaned.
There were, we did have some bad weather. We had some 4-wheel drives. There were no ambulance runs that we didn't go on. We responded to every run that was called in, any tone runs. So I don't really know where that came from, that
I
information.
talked to some friends, one guy, I seen him on the internet, he got mad bad. And you've seen that too, I know you did, because, well, it was on the internet.
That wasn't a true event.
That wasn't, yeah, that did not happen as it was stated on
Up in the
Facebook.
same gap, his mother's on oxygen, he called, and they said they wouldn't come.
That was not true.
That's not true
We never
either.
received a call we did not respond to.
Okay, well, that's what these people told me, you know, that was their words out there about.
Sometimes that stuff gets mixed up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they told me, and that's, it came from them, you know.
We have helped the ambulance get out.
I can't hear you.
I said, we have helped the ambulance get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
Another
mandatory, I mean,
thing,
just like I
why
said.
didn't you run?
Huh?
Why didn't you run? You can do so great. Why didn't you come out and run for magistrate?
Why didn't I run it for magistrate?
Why didn't you run?
I don't have
You
to.
can do some great stuff. Why didn't you
Okay.
come out and run? You could do it safe.
Okay. Well,
You waited too late.
okay, well, that's beside the point. I'm too busy to do it anyway, but I'm pointing out the things that needs to be done. I mean, if it's snowing bad, they should be able to get the trucks out to get the ambulance people, because that's very important.
I'll say that you guys worked a whole lot of hours, and it was a very bad
It
storm.
was.
I've never seen it snow, then rain, then ice, then snow. It was just awful.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I went to feed my dogs and fell in the yard was solid ice. And, which I keep walking chewing gum at the same time anyway, but anyway.
Well, I was up and down my driveway all the time. I mean, you know the hill I live on.
Yeah.
I had no problem. When it was Sunday and I drove up down when it was slushy, it cleared down to the rock.
Yeah.
Well, I was able to go up and down my driveway the whole time. I went, when it started really falling, I went and got a load of rocks, put in the tracks so I could get up down it.
It helps if we can get on them before a lot of traffic gets on, but
Yeah.
it's hard to do sometimes.
Well, that's, you know, on a Sunday night or something starts snowing, that's when you need to get out doing it, you know.
Then you don't want to.
It must not have snowed in Salt Rock like it did on Lodge Hall, because you couldn't get up down the driveway.
It was different places, no doubt. Anyway.
Another thing I want to ask, I want to ask Greg. Greg, I guess questions, the county don't really know a lot of who's on the tourism board, and I think you should be able to explain to people who they are, so if they can notify them and stuff. Because I was watching some of your things where you're campaigning for that, and you're inviting businesses in to this county. Well, I've been doing this for 8 years on over there where I'm at. I've had 4 different people buy land to put cabins up and everything. And I can't, you know, I've tried to get tourism committee to sponsor us for 8 years. I never did. Last year I had everything planned, started in March. I handed it all out. I never got no response back from anybody from tourism and everything.
I'll tell you what.
First year.
Hold up just a second, Bobby, I'm sorry, listen, you guys can discuss that after the meeting, we need to get going, other people, we put a time limit on it where we can keep going.
Okay, well, let me finish here just because I think the tourism committee is biased because they got too many people working for the same, they all work at the school bus garage, and a lot of them do, and I'm trying to run a business, start a business,
Yeah.
but I've been denied by the county, I've been lied to, I've been discriminated against and everything. And I think it needs to be looked in big time because it was wrong to begin with. When I first started this, tourism was behind me 100%. COVID hit, they got all this money, and it was like they just shoved me under the rug and I didn't matter.
Okay.
And we put a lot of time and effort into this. Last winter, I set up everything and get everything lined up for the summer and spring, and I didn't even get an answer from the court, tourism, or anybody about sponsorship or anything. And that was not right.
Okay, you thank you. Next. All right. Okay, thank you all. Let me get into item A, my judge's report. We have, all right, at the most recent rounds of winter weather, after that, our county roads are going to need extra attention. Potholes are going to start popping up in the coming weeks. Gravel roads are going to need some refreshing. The last thing we needed was the information we received this week from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's Department of Rural and Municipal Aid. County road aid is what we depend on to maintain our roads. We budgeted for $1.3 million in county road aid for fiscal year 26. Counties that participate in county road aid in the cooperative program receive road aid in 3 payments throughout the fiscal year, funded through the motor fuels sales tax. So we received our first payment of 60% in August, which was $807,000. That payment enabled us to pay the remainder of our asphalt bills from late 2024, get a head start on equipment maintenance and supplies. The second payment usually comes in early February and should be for around $410,000, which is 30% of the budgeted amount. I received an email this week from Commissioner Lewis at the Department for Rural and Municipal Aid stating that the second payment will be less than anticipated and will be for only 25%, which should be around $360,000. So that's roughly a $50,000 less than what we originally budgeted for. So this is a significant impact on the road budget if the numbers are correct. The amount could be made up in June, but is not guaranteed. Counties in Kentucky that participate in county road aid payments receive funds according to population. The more population the county has, the more money they are eligible to receive. Jackson County, like other rural counties, depend on county road aid money for upkeep and repair to roads. I've said for many years that we have more road miles than money to maintain them. Winters like the one that we've been in recently, these winters are extremely difficult. The fiscal court will more than likely be tasked with raising more revenue in the coming years to help offset the cost of road maintenance. With the rising cost of road repairs, jail expenses, cost of operations in general, there's really no easy or quick solutions to funding shortfall problems. So I wanted to share that, and I think, guys, I ran you off a copy of that email. I'll find it here after the meeting that came from Commissioner Lewis about the county road aid payments. I just wanted to make y'all aware of that. This very well could be made up in June, but there's no guarantee. It all depends on how much fuel is, or motor fuel sales tax is brought in the state. And also, as well, you know, me and Linda was talking before the court meeting started. You know, we've had time trying to get all the garbage picked up in the last 3 weeks. It's been awful. And, you know, we've had scales that's been froze up, we've had trucks that won't run, and they finally, I talked to our solid waste coordinator a while ago, and he said, I believe we're just about caught up unless somebody just didn't have their sitting out, and we've missed them. If they're called, we'll go back and get him. You know, they done the best they could for the situation that we were in. You know, it's not, I don't have the authority, or neither one of these guys have the authority by themselves to say we're going to change this and this is how it's going to be done. We have to collectively vote as a court, right, guys, to say this is how this has to operate. So, you know, we want the trash service to do the very best it can, and it's been a challenge because there's a whole lot of picking up to do. We have issues sometimes with, just like any other company, sometimes you have a truck breakdown, sometimes you'll have employees that are sick, and we've had a lot of turnover, as you can imagine. That ain't the most, I guess, elaborate job, especially in the summertime. It gets pretty rough hanging on the back of that truck. But anyway, and the guys that pick up the pickups, they handle this stuff twice. They don't just pick a bag up and throw it in and then throw it away. They have to get it back out and put it in another truck. So you know, we want to upgrade our equipment, but anyway, I just ask that everybody just please be patient with us. We're trying to get bugs worked out as we go along and do the best we can with it. So keep the costs down. And I know that you know, I want to say this too before I turn it over to our magistrates here for their report. These guys, not one time did they call me during this last snow event and just say, I can't handle this. Everyone just, they done great. I've been honored to work with these guys the last 12 years. We don't always agree on everything, but that's the thing about county government. You're not going to agree on everything. There's going to be some things that we may not see eye to eye on, but we've always come to a resolution and a solution. And I appreciate working with them. They care about their people. I know Bobby gets a little aggravated at me sometimes, but that's okay. He's got his opinions, and everybody does. But we've had a lot of people that have called and said, hey, you guys you've done the best you can with what you got, and we appreciate it. And I want them to know that I really appreciate how hard they have worked. I've been here 12 years. These guys have worked hard to do the best they can, and I appreciate that. Now, I'll take payment after court. Strike that from the record. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead, Damon, you district one.
Yeah, it's just like the storm. I respond every call I got.
Yeah.
Responded back. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Yep. Two, Dale?
I'd like to thank everybody for what they've done during that mess. Right down to the citizens, they just cut trees,
Oh, yeah.
plowing the road, tractors, fire, volunteers, ambulance. I mean, cops, there's running oxygen for people, fire department's helping us cut trees. Everybody done a really good job. They
Yeah.
probably got less calls. This been the biggest storm we've had.
It was
Years.
rough. It was rough.
And had less aggravation other than the snow. That's extremely aggravating. People, I was amazed, really, how good people come together, done what they need to do.
It was good. It was good.
Fireman, the ambulances, pulled one out with a road grader. Do what you got to do during emergency.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank everybody for doing employees, citizens. They hung in there. It's tough. It's been a tough time for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get calls on potholes, soft gravel roads, and that's understandable right now. Just give us a call and we'll get to it as fast as we can. We've got some trees that we're going to have to clean up that failed during the storm that we cut a path through. they're working on that. If there's a tree that's, you think is unsafe, leaning, or in the road, or on the right of way, give us a call. We know where most of us at, but there's always few that don't deal with that
Yeah.
until somebody lets us know about it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them loose right now. If you see a leaning tree that looks like it might fall, or it's dangerous to drive under, or you're scared to, because it's gonna take a while to get all them up. And hopefully the gravel roads get better after the next rain, or next hard rain. It'll settle that dirt back pretty
If
good.
it's giving some rain this weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty right now, so you just let us know. We'll help you all we can.
Okay, thank you. Garvin, I was gonna tell you, I know we were supposed to start Beanpole Bridge, and that was the day that it started to snow. I look for them anytime to be down there. That bridge is gonna be completely replaced. That's a complete replacement, so, I want to make you aware of that.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the road department, they went to work with.
Well, they worked hard, they
Put in a lot of long hours.
long hair.
Done a good job. We didn't have too many trees down.
Yeah,
They stayed right after. Done a good job.
yeah, they did. They really did, and we appreciate you guys. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Sheriff's report, I'd like to say, appreciate too, the sheriff and the fire department and the jail. I know the sheriff, they transported critical workers back and forth. I know they take some back and forth to nursing home, places like that. These are essential workers. Appreciate that.
Trees or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, everything's running pretty good for us. We still collecting taxes, still trickling in.
How many percent did you say you think you're up to on taxes?
Miranda, do you have any idea?
Might be 87%.
87%, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
We've got 2 people that's going through the process at DOCJT to get approved to start working in the courthouse for security. And so them being there and getting 2 more SROs to have the schools restaffed again. I've got 2 guys for that, and should all take place within a month. Other than that, I'd like to address something, you know, that's bothered me saying that Jackson County EMS would deny somebody. I've been here 18 years, and I can say I've never seen them say, no, we're not coming to you. It would be, it's gonna be a delay, we'll get you a truck, it might be another county, fireman, we'll get you a fireman out there, we'll get to you, but it may take a minute. That's all I mean, that's ridiculous to say that they refuse anybody. One day this week, we've got 4-wheel drive that we use just for rougher areas to get to calls, because we don't want to take our newer cars in some of these places. Well, that vehicle was on another call, and we had a social worker needing to go to check the residence. Well, Oscar and Miranda knew that, and they got their SUV and tried to take them up there, just to help us. So, you know, that's how we got to work. I mean, up here, fire, EMS,
Yeah.
police department,
Right.
sheriff's office, we all gotta work together. The jail's out helping us.
Yeah.
I mean, with the roads, and even the magistrates, you know, like you said, we're going out with a grader now.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not gonna say we're not coming to you, and that, just like I said, that's ridiculous. Or you let him say that, and then turn around and say, that's what I heard on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'd like to say too, before we get in, is that all you got, Sheriff? Is that all you reported?
I think, I've kind of forgot what it's.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you think of something else, just let me know. I'll say this while the sheriff's thinking. It is First Responders Appreciation Month, and we've got a banner hanging out on the front of the courthouse. And I want to encourage any businesses that would like to participate. If you have a farmer come in, paramedic, EMT, law enforcement, whatever. If they're a first responder and you want to give them a discount, free cup of coffee or whatever, they are going to appreciate it. You don't have to, but that's for anybody that would like to. We just want to show them a little extra appreciation. All right. Brian, you got a jail report.
Yeah, I'm still.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we was talking about helping out. We actually had a scraper blade donated to us a few years back from Jackson County Food Bank. And we placed it on the front of a work truck and scraped some roads. I don't know how good they did at it, but they did make an effort at that. So spent a lot of hours on that also. But on the financial report, like I told you last month, our state inmates has picked up. I heard the last couple of days that people are scrambling, trying to get inmates at the time. So, but we never really had a problem with that. We got a few connections, Madison County, places like that don't actually hold state inmates. And so with the ones we had last month, the money that brought in was $83,000. Our classes brought in $13,000. And I speak of those classes a lot. Maybe I don't actually give in detail what they are. I know I have a couple times, but we're too small of a facility to have a SAP program, which is a substance abuse program. But we do have a MRT class, which is moral recognition therapy. And some of the things that are in that, and you've got to think, we deal with all kinds of people. You know, a lot of them broken, a lot of them live a lifestyle like that. So maybe to reset their mind or thinking a little bit inside these classes, and they're all recognized by the Department of Correction. They get time off for completion of these classes. And the therapy classes in that is untangling relationships. And after I read through this, I thought, man, I might need a few of these classes. But managing a checkbook, parenting classes are all in these. Most of these inmates have children. And believe it or not, you know, we probably have 15 to 20 females most of the time. And a lot of times their mothers are taking care of these children. So it's a reflection on their life. It's, like I said, it's parenting, anger management, decision-making, self-awareness, and overall functioning skills. So if they do know of these things, it kind of resets their thinking. If they don't, it's a good teaching method for them. So that's what those classes are part of. If they complete them in 6 months, I think they get 30 days off of their sentence. Also, if they complete a GED class, they get 30 days off of their sentence. When you see these guys and these females out working, you know, somebody had called me the other day about the temperatures, but now I'm going to tell you something different about jail inmates, work release. They want to work. They're not like your regular workplace. They want to be out and they want to work. I can tell you at 8 o'clock in the evening, I got messages, can they go out, they want to go out and scrape the sidewalks. And I said, no, they don't need to be out scraping the sidewalks. So they want to be outside. Someone said it might be a little too cold for them, a little too hot for them. You can poll every one of these men and women. They say, I want to be outside working. They have big winter coats. They have hoodies, thermal underwear. They've got all the clothing that they need. Now, you might see them out there without a coat. And like anybody else, you get to work and you get a little hot, they may take those coats off. So, and they can get in that truck anytime they want to warm up. I just want to clarify that a little bit concerning the phone call I got the other day. But to go on a little bit, our medical, we don't get much back from that. It's about $285. That's the norm. We've got our own phone system in there. We get a refund check on that. It's about $1,700. Also, we get reimbursed, I'm pretty sure, for 2 of our guards on the state groups. We get reimbursement back from the state. I think the state also gives each inmate a $5, they pay $5 for their lunch. So a total of about $103,000, $103,500. So, and something you got to realize about jail, I don't think everybody realizes it sometimes. When they do come in, and if they've been there a year, a lot of them do have medical conditions. I mean, they've not always treated their bodies the best. Some of them have some medical concerns. Also, We are there 365 days a year, and that's not just first shift, second shift, third shift. We can't close, we can't leave, somebody's gotta be there at all times, and I don't know who was talking about it earlier, I guess it was Daniel, taking some workers back and forth. We had to do that too, our own workers to get them there, because, you know, we can't close, and some of our people work way down in Salt Rock. I don't know if you've been in Salt Rock, it's almost the end of the world, it's a long ways down in there, and if it snows, and it gets down there, it's bad, so, that's part of the jail we don't think about sometimes, so, I also appreciate this crew up here. I started in, I think they kind of throwed me in is what happened. I won an election, and 3 days later, there I was, and they've all been really, really good to me, and we've all kind of worked together, and I appreciate them for all they've done for me. I'm done.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. All right. Item F, 2025 clerk's excess fees subject to audit. I think Doug's got it.
I got it right here. $87,657.16. That's a good year.
That's a good.
Real good. It was by a bulldozer, but it's still a good year.
$87,657.16 turned over from the clerk in excess fees. I hear a motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
All right, thank you, Doug. Done a good job. All right, next is consider purchase of the 2008 Ford ambulance for $13,000 for EMS from the LGEA fund. I asked Miranda, is our active director, and Oscar,
I'm sorry, is there active,
director.
oh, me,
Yeah, I've asked her and Oscar, which is AKA Dr. McQueen.
yeah.
And to come today to be here present in case there's any questions. My understanding, this ambulance, and I believe, you all correct me if I'm wrong, this ambulance was given from Somerset to Burnside Fire Department, and they couldn't use it because they couldn't afford to staff it, is that
No,
correct?
Somerset, Pulaski County has like a joint ambulance service, I'm not sure of all the details with them, but they had issues providing an ambulance for Burnside, so the fire department there had decided to buy an ambulance and try to staff it and have their own little service there. Well, Pulaski County, Somerset ended up being able to get them an ambulance in that area. I don't know if they put one down there at their station or what, but then they had this ambulance that they no longer need, so they have it for sale.
Okay.
They originally had it listed for $15,000. They came down to $13,500 for us. Seems like a good ambulance. It's a 2008 Ford F450. It only has 126,000 miles on it. We're hoping it'll get us through the next couple of years till we can get all of our audits caught up, get grants, hopefully buy some new ambulances at that point. But this will be like a stopgap in the meantime.
And I think the statement, they said this motor was 6.0, it
Yeah.
had been bulletproof.
It had.
Already
They
been
have all
gone
the
through.
receipts.
Yeah.
We sent Rick, our mechanic, up to look at it. He drove it. It said it drove great. He looked at all the receipts where they'd had it bulletproof. They spent like $9,500, I think he said, on doing all that for
Sounds
it.
about right.
Yeah.
6.0.
So,
Yeah.
seems like a good truck. Hopefully it'll,
So, the reason I present this is a LGEAF fund purchase, and I've got from the Department of Local Government, I've got we get mineral severance revenue, which comes from the limestone that is mined down at Clover Bottom. So we get taxed from that. 50% goes to the state general fund, 50% goes to the counties that participate. Of course, we participate. The things that you can use these funds for: public safety, environmental protection, public transportation, health, recreation, educational facilities, social services, industrial economic development, vocational education, workforce training, and secondary wood industrial. So basically hit with fall under public safety and health. So this is according to the DLG website and my conversation with Aaron Jones, this is an allowable purchase with the funds. I put 13, is it 13.5?
it is $13,500,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
So I made a typo on that, it is 13,500. Y'all have any questions? I run off some pictures
Yeah.
of it, they're not the best pictures, but I've got them in color on my computer, and it is a really good looking ambulance for $13,500.
A new ambulance right now is $250,000 to $300,000, just to put it in perspective.
That makes it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say just upfitting the cruiser, just lights and a siren, I can say is about $18,000 a cage and lights and siren. I know an ambulance is gonna be
Yeah.
way more than that, so you're getting something for way less than what it costs to do the lights and siren.
You know what they've done to that ambulance?
At Burnside, what they've done to it,
Yeah, you said you had to receive, was it engine work?
they bulletproofed the engine. It's the 6.0 that had problems in the past.
Terrible.
So they took it and bulletproofed it. And whatever's entailed in that, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know what all that entails.
The
But
engine's good, but the fuel injection system.
yeah, whatever they done to it was
Absolutely
supposed to
terrible.
fix all those problems. Our mechanic, and then we talked to Vernon Johnson, the mechanic in the Gap, does a lot of stuff for us. They both agreed that if it's been bulletproof, then it should last us a while. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic. But I'm just going from what our mechanic told us.
I ain't no doubt that's a good price on it, if, you
Yeah.
know, if that, we got a high pressure, there's a high pressure oil pump that runs a fuel injection system.
Yeah.
It makes,
Yeah,
but if that's been taken care of.
yeah. He said he
He's
saw the
got the receipts
receipts.
where they had that.
Rick
worked
saw
out.
the receipts. I've not
Okay.
personally saw them, but Rick saw them when he went to drive it. They had
Okay.
all the receipts and stuff for him to look at there. And he
Okay.
said they had everything, looked like it was all in order.
That's about $10,000 or so.
Yeah, like $9,500, $10,000 that they spent to do that
Sounds
for it.
about right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Done replace the water pumps.
Yeah, a lot of them do, yeah. All right, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Just to make sure that they check your fuel injection out.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to have problems out of it.
Okay. We're going, hopefully tomorrow if this gets approved by you guys. I've been in contact with the Burnside Fire Department chief up there and told him hopefully we can tomorrow if you guys will approve it. So when we go up there, I'll check it, make sure before we make the transaction.
Right. Yeah, I'll be fine. Motion.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion in a second. Thank you, Jim. Second. I'll put that in there with that, that's all the picture stuff. All right, next we have a grant resolution. And this is for the fiscal court, authorizing the completion and filing of a grant stands for Government Resource Accelerated Needed Transformation Program. This started in 2024. This project application is for $57,180 in the grant program funds. And that funds are with the Cabinet for Economic Development. That's authorizing and directing the Judge Executive of Jackson County to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by Cabinet for Economic Development to carry out this project, and authorizing the authorized representative to act as the authorized correspondent for this project, permitting review and execution of all agreements and request of all disbursements related to this program. So the entity desires to promote and carry out community development efforts on behalf of the residents of Jackson County by supporting this grant program. And the entity is submitting and has submitted an application for the following program. ARC, which is Appalachian Regional Commission, the intent to access federal grant resources that are in the best of public interest for a public purpose. They may seek funding assistance in preparing or completing application for federal resources. Whereas it recognizes the grant program monies available to the entity for purposes stated herein pursuant to KRS 147A.150 and 147A.166, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the entity and will require, among other things, approval of the satisfactory application, proper registration to do business with the Commonwealth, and other obligations of the entity in connection with receiving the grant program monies. So this money, what they're asking for, is $57,180 as part of House Bill 723. This is to help our water association finish up and get started with their new intake line in Lake Beulah. This is no cost to the fiscal court whatsoever. We have no match obligation. That this House Bill 723, 57,180 is basically we're applying for the match for them to be able to construct that line into that plant. They've got money from Congress, from Congressman Rogers was able to secure money for the actual intake line, but they have to have some match money, and this is the grant resolution that supports that application. Of course, we don't govern the Jackson County Water Association, but we can be an applicant agent for them because they are a part of Jackson County. So that's for $57,180. It's all this program is being oversaw by Steve Morris at Cumberland Valley Area Development District. So we just need, this resolution basically says that we support this application for ARC money to go towards that property. Be no money running through us.
Motion.
All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, I've got one more resolution on here. And that is item H, grant resolution number 021226. This is something that we do every year, that we, the Jackson County Fiscal Court agrees the following roads on the Appendix A are part of the county road system, and the roads on Appendix B are not part of that system. These are the same as last year. As I said, I'm getting our mapping guy from Cumberland Valley Ad to send us alphabetical order list of that, and if he possibly can, I'll get him to break them down by districts to make it easier for you all. We need to get this in to the state to authorize it, but we do have at any time the authority to come back and say, we didn't recognize that road, we don't have any record of it, we need to take it off, or this road was left off, we need to put it on. But we'd have to bring it back to the meeting. I've looked through them, they're basically the same as last year, what we did. So I just need a motion in a second to send this resolution in. So
Those 3 copies.
yeah, there's 3 copies. Y'all get a copy of it. I've got one of them. So this resolution goes with that. It says that we recognize that these are county roads. And like I said, if there's something that's not right, we at any time can change it.
Is that the one that's 02122?
6, yeah.
Do you need this, can we look over this?
I just
Do
need
you
a
need
motion.
that today?
I just need a motion to do this resolution, and Jason Hawkins said if there's something pending. I was gonna get those to you last week, and then we had a blizzard, and I didn't get a chance to.
Okay.
But he said if we could send him this resolution, and if y'all look over it and say, wait a minute, we messed up on this, we just need to send him what it is, and he fix it. So I just need a motion on the resolution. All right, thank you, guys. All right, next, wait a minute,
No, we got one.
that was I, I'm sorry. That was my item I, what we just did, that was road resolution. We done the old 21226 was the one before. I'll get you after the court, I know what, yeah, sorry about that.
Who make a motion?
On the last one, it was let's see, it was Dale and it was Dale and Gardner on both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now we have Jackson County, it's item J. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Item J, Jackson County Kiwanis annual donation for youth sports, $5,000. We always do that out of LGEA. We've done it the last 4 years, Rodney. Rodney's on Kiwanis.
Sounds good.
That's, I think it's been the last 4 years, we've done the donation, never had an issue with it. Just need a motion to do that.
Second.
All right, item K, take County Road 1137, Andrew Road, out of county maintenance. Andrew Road has no houses on it. It's in Danny's district. He's been contacting property owners. They've all agreed that it don't need to be maintained. We're not taking it out of road maps, we're taking it out of maintenance. So these people are basically going to use this as a driveway into their hay fields. Years ago, I guess, Danny, they probably used to be a house down there, didn't they?
That's right. Down there. Hartman's old place.
Yeah, I know where it's, years ago, 50 years ago, there's probably 4 houses.
Yeah. Now it's a field.
There's an old house that's been there for the last 30 years.
30,
Yeah. I just need a motion on item K then.
Motion. Second.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Item L, we'll table. If you would, I did not receive any bills or change orders, so just need a motion to table that.
Motion. Second.
All right, and the treasurer's bills and transfers, the last thing. Y'all had a chance to look over them before we started the meeting. I'll entertain a motion that you have seen them, I have presented.
Motion. Second.
All right, next meeting is Thursday, March the 12th at 1 o'clock. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.